Have you ever wondered if God is trying to communicate with you? The desire to connect with a higher power is a fundamental aspect of human nature. In our quest for understanding and meaning, we often seek signs and messages from God. This video aims to help you recognize when God is speaking to you, offering guidance and support in your spiritual journey. Divine communication can be a mysterious and profound experience. It is not always a loud voice from the sky or a dramatic event. Often God's messages come in subtle ways through our thoughts, feelings, signs, and experiences. Understanding how God communicates can help us feel more connected and guided in our daily lives. When we talk about divine communication, we are referring to the ways in which God reaches out to us. This can happen in many forms, and it is important to be open and receptive. God's messages can be felt as a gentle nudge, a sense of peace, or even a sudden insight. By paying attention to these subtle cues, we can begin to recognize God's voice in our lives. One of the first steps in recognizing God's voice is to quiet our minds. In our busy lives, our minds are often filled with noise and distractions. To hear God, we need to create a space of silence and stillness within ourselves. This can be achieved through practices like meditation, prayer, or simply spending time in nature. When we quiet our minds, we become more attuned to the subtle messages from God. It is in these moments of stillness that we can hear the gentle whispers of divine guidance. Take a few moments each day to sit quietly, breathe deeply, and open your heart to receive God's messages. Affirm to yourself, I am open and receptive to divine guidance. God often communicates through signs and symbols. These can be anything that catches your attention and feels meaningful. Repeated numbers, feathers, specific animals, or even certain songs can all be signs from God. These symbols are often personalized, meaning they have a special significance to you. To recognize these signs, it is important to pay attention to your surroundings and be mindful of the things that stand out to you. When you notice a sign, take a moment to reflect on its meaning and how it relates to your current situation. By being open to these signs, you can receive guidance and reassurance from God. Intuition is another powerful way that God communicates with us. Our intuition is like an inner compass that guides us through life. It is that gut feeling or inner knowing that tells us what is right or wrong. By trusting our intuition, we can align ourselves with God's will. Trusting your intuition means listening to that inner voice and following its guidance, even when it doesn't make logical sense. It requires faith and confidence in the divine wisdom within you. Affirm to yourself, I trust my intuition and know that it is a divine guide. By doing so, you open yourself up to receive clear and direct messages from God. Sometimes, God speaks to us through the words and actions of others. This can happen in everyday conversations, through advice from a friend, or even through a stranger's kind words. Being open to receiving messages from others can help us recognize God's guidance in unexpected ways. When you receive advice or hear something that resonates deeply with you, take a moment to consider if it might be a message from God. Trust that God can use anyone to convey His messages to you. By being open and receptive, you can receive divine guidance through the people around you. Dreams and visions are another way that God communicates with us. When we sleep, our subconscious mind is more open to receiving messages from the divine. These messages can come in the form of vivid dreams, symbols, or even direct communication with God. To better understand your dreams, keep a dream journal and write down any significant dreams or symbols you experience. Reflect on the messages and consider how they relate to your life. Affirm to yourself, I am open to receiving divine messages through my dreams. By doing so, you create a space for God to communicate with you in this powerful way. Sacred texts, such as the Bible, are filled with divine wisdom and guidance. Reading these texts can help us connect with God's messages and understand His will for our lives. When you read sacred texts, pay attention to the passages that stand out to you or resonate deeply within your heart. As you read, ask God to reveal His messages to you and listen to the inner voice that speaks to you through the words. Sacred texts can provide comfort, guidance, and insight, helping you navigate life's challenges with divine support. Trust that God is speaking to you through these sacred words and allow them to guide your path. Our emotions are another way that God communicates with us. Strong emotions such as peace, joy, or conviction can indicate that we are receiving a message from the divine. By tuning into our emotions and recognizing their significance, we can better understand God's guidance. When you feel a strong emotion, take a moment to reflect on its meaning and how it relates to your current situation. Emotions like peace and joy often indicate that you are aligned with God's will, while feelings of unease or doubt may suggest the need for further reflection. Affirm to yourself, "I am in tune with my emotions and recognize them as divine communication." By doing so, you open yourself to receive and understand God's messages through your feelings. Recognizing God's messages is only the first step. It is equally important to act on the guidance you receive. Taking action on divine messages requires faith and courage. It means trusting that God knows what is best for you and following His guidance, even when it feels challenging. When you receive a message from God, take time to pray and reflect on how you can best act on it. Seek confirmation through additional signs, prayer, or counsel from trusted spiritual advisors. By acting on divine guidance, you align yourself with God's plan and open the door to greater blessings and opportunities. Affirm to yourself, "I confidently act on the divine guidance I receive." It is essential to discern and confirm the messages you receive to ensure they are truly from God. Discernment involves prayerfully considering the message and seeking clarity. Ask God for confirmation and look for additional signs or guidance that reinforce the message. To confirm a message, you can seek counsel from trusted spiritual advisors, read sacred texts, or spend time in prayer and reflection. By taking these steps, you can be confident that the messages you receive are from God and not from other sources. Affirm to yourself, "I discern and confirm the divine messages I receive with clarity." This practice will help you stay aligned with God's will and receive His guidance with confidence. Recognizing when God is speaking to you is a deeply personal and profound experience. By quieting your mind, paying attention to signs and symbols, trusting your intuition, and being open to messages from others, you can connect with God's guidance in your life. Remember to act on the messages you receive and seek discernment and confirmation to ensure they are truly from God. Stay open and attentive to divine communication in your daily life. Trust that God is always with you, guiding and supporting you every step of the way. Affirm to yourself, "I am always connected to the divine and open to receiving God's messages." By doing so, you create a space for God's love and guidance to flow into your life, bringing you peace, clarity, and direction. May you continue to grow in your spiritual journey, recognizing and embracing the divine messages that come your way. Remember, God is always speaking to you. You only need to listen with an open heart and mind.